Good afternoon, this is Teacher Seppi, and today we're going to study tenses. Okay, so there we go. This grammar test is about tenses, and this is 152 questions. Okay, so let's start with number one. When I last talked to him, he blanked English. So that's as I've said before, pag two actions in a verb, and then there is that when and while. The when part must be in past form and the other part must be in ing form. Was and were and ing form. Okay, so there you go. So it's like when I last talked to him, he was studying English. Did you get it? Or he was studying English when I last talked to him. Okay? Okay, there you go. He was studying English like a specific time before. Okay? There is a specific time. He was studying English is a specific time. At the time when you last talked to him, okay, that is a specific time. This when part talks about that. Okay, there you go. Next one, number two. I met her at yesterday's party, but I blanked her by sight 4 years before that. So okay, so I met her at yesterday's party, but I had known her by sight 4 years before that. So like long before. Had known. This is past perfect tense. Okay, so there is like a specific time. No. An action that happened in the past and finished in the past. Okay, and that continuously happened and then also finished in the past. Next, number three. By 2010, scientists surely blank a cure for cancer. Okay, scientists by 2010, scientists surely blank so it's like had discovered. Okay, there we go. Or had discovered because this is already done. Okay, there we go. That's had discovered. Next one, number four. Since the day he blank ill, he blank a lot of reading. Okay, since the day he was ill. Okay, so since the day he was ill, he has done a lot of reading. Okay, for and since is used with present perfect tenses. Okay, present perfect tenses, and as you can see here, present perfect. He has done a lot of reading, and then since, that is the start of the time. Okay, the time of start of the period. Okay, so he has done a lot of reading since the day he was ill. Okay, there we go. Since we only use since and for with present perfect tenses. Remember that. Next one, number five. What's the time? I'm sorry, I blank. My watch blank. Okay, so what's the time? I'm sorry, I don't know. My watch has stopped. Okay, there we go. That's letter C. Next one. He blanked in the library every night for the last 2 months. Okay, so number six. He was blank. Okay, he has been studying. In the library every night for the last 2 months. Okay, or he has been studying. There we go. Next, number seven. Last Sunday, we blank out of the house where we blank for 5 years. Okay. Last Sunday, we moved. Last Sunday kasi finish time siya. Lagi niyong tandaan dyan. Pag may finish time, like last Sunday, yesterday, last night, like that, that's always past. Okay? So, last Sunday, we moved out of the house where we had lived. We had lived for 5 years. Okay, so that's already past, right? It has been done, and then the action started in the past, like 5 years ago, and that was last Sunday. So it was done in the past also. So it's had lived for 5 years. Okay, there we go. That's letter C. Next. Lagi niyong tandaan yan, pag may finish time na last Sunday, ganun, last month, like that, that's always past. So the answer there is letter C actually. Next one, we spent hours talking about what we blank since we left school. Okay, since we left school. So we spent hours talking about what we had been doing since when we left school. Okay, next one. We spent, because that's done, right? This is finished. We spent hours talking about what we had been doing. Okay, next one. Number 9, they blank married, but in the end they changed their mind. Okay, so they changed their mind. That's already passed. So that means before that they were planning to have it. So we say they were going to get married, but in the end they changed their mind. Okay. Next one, number 10. Would you like me to give Mike a message for you? Oh, I don't want to trouble you. It's no trouble, really. I blank Mike tomorrow anyway. Number 9, it's I am seeing Mike tomorrow anyway. Okay. I am seeing present continuous tenses like am is are plus ing form. We use this one for future tense if we have already planned or arranged to do the action. Like, shall we say, yesterday I decided to go to Boracay next week. So I would say, now if I'm gonna talk to someone, I would say I am going to Boracay next week. Not I will go to Boracay next week, because I have decided it yesterday. You can only use will if you if you decide at the time of speaking. Like, shall I say, I just decide now that I'm going to Boracay. So I would say I will go to Boracay next week. Okay, so that's will. But if you already have decided to do it or arranged to do it, you would say like few days ago, a few hours ago. And now if you're gonna talk to people or to someone, you would always use the am, is, are plus ing form. Okay, remember that. So that's here. The number 10, we say A. I am seeing Mike tomorrow. Anyway, next one. Next. When I counted my change, I realized they blanked me $3 too much. Okay. When I counted my change, I realized they had given me $3 too much. Okay, had given. So that's letter B. Next one. Number 12. When he had counted his change, he blanked it in his pocket. Okay, so that's he put it in his pocket. When he had counted his change, yeah, he had put letter B. Next one. As soon as she blanked out of bed, she got dressed. As soon as she had got out of bed, she got dressed. Next one. 14. In a fortnight's time, they blank their exams. In the fortnight's time, they will have taken their exams. Yeah, there you go. At that time. Next one. They were very rude to us. We blank there again. That's we won't go there again, because at the time of speaking, like they were very rude to us. So we won't, or we will not go. We will not go there again. Okay, won't is a short form or contracted form of will not. Next, 16. In about 40 years time. In about 40 years time, we will probably blank on pills. Okay, so we will probably be living. We will be. Okay, will plus base form. Yeah, we will be living. We will probably be living on pills. Okay, next 17. 17. Why have you set your alarm clock to go off at 5:30? Because I blank then. I have to catch the early train. Okay, 17. Because I am to get up then. I have to catch the early train. Okay, so yeah, he already had decided to wake up at 5:30. So say I am going to get up then. Okay, there I go. Next one. I've planned my future for the next 5 years. That is very clever of you. What blank when you retire? Okay, there you go. what are you going to do? Because that's already planned, right? That's, you arrange to do something that's planned. So what are you going to do? Letter B. Next one. You will feel a lot better after you blank arrests. You will feel better. You will feel a lot better after you have had arrests. Okay, next, number 20. Next August, will you blank for your exams? I blank on a Mediterranean beach. Okay, beach. Next August, will you... sorry, not will you. While you are preparing for your exams, I will be on a Mediterranean beach. Okay, so there's a while you are. Next August, while you are preparing. Yeah, there you go. Letter A. Next one, 21. He blanked my name, so I reminded him. He forgot my name. That's past. So I reminded him. That's past na. Okay, so he forgot my name. Next, 22. By 5:30 this afternoon, Tom blanked at work for 8 hours. By 5:30 this afternoon, Tom will have been at work for 8 hours. Okay. Next, number 23. She blanked unwell for several days when she was taken to hospital. She had been feeling unwell for several days when she was taken to the hospital. So, had been there is like when she was taken to the hospital. So look at that. When she was taken to the hospital, that's already past na, diba? So that means the action that was happening before that action, like that is also in this form, like had been, must be past, and the action is done, started to be done in the past and then finished in the past. So like she had been feeling unwell for several days when she was taken to the hospital. So before she was taken to the hospital, she had been feeling unwell. Okay, there you go. During this year, we blank many advances in computer science. During these years, we have seen, during this year, we have seen many advances in computer science. We have seen, yeah, from the time this year started until now. Okay, next one. Next, our math teacher blanked us a lot of homework last week, but he blanked us very much so far this week. Our math teacher, that's last week, right? Blank us a lot of homework last week, so that must be past, simple past. So that's gave. So it's between C or D. Gave. But he blanked us very much so far this week. So this week is this time is still included. So it's a hasn't given. Okay, so that's letter D. 25. Not didn't given, because we don't say, if we're gonna use did, we always have to use base from the verb, not given, but must be give. Okay, so it's wrong. So letter D is the answer. Next, 26. It is expected that man blank on several planets by the end of this century. 26. Sorry. It is expected that man, yeah, it is said that man blank on several planets by the end of this. Okay, by the end of this century, that's future, right? Okay, so you say will have landed. Yeah, that's will have landed. Yeah, will have landed on several planets by the end of this century. Okay, there we go. Next one, 27. I'm going to the pop concert. I'm sorry. Bulag na ako. Anyway, blank with me. So 27 blank. Thank you very much. I'd love to. So we say, so at the time of speaking lang, she or he was inviting that someone. So we'd say, will you come with me? Okay, will you come with me? Next one. It rained. I didn't think it 28 was going to rain. It rained. It didn't. I didn't think it was going to rain. Okay, it was going to rain. It's past. Next one. I blank to see you tomorrow, but now I find I can't. Okay, that is I was coming 29. No. I will come to see you tomorrow, but now I find I can't. Okay. Next, 30. 30. He found everything rather strange as he never abroad before. He found everything rather strange as he had never been abroad before. Okay, had never. So before, that's past. Yeah, correct. There we go. Next one, 31. I blank you know as soon as the telegram blank. Okay. I will let you know. I'll let you know as soon as the telegram arrives. Okay, there we go. Telegrams arrives. Next one, that's letter A. Next one, 32. 32. Please blank until after the please blank until after the plain blank. Okay. Please don't smoke. Okay, there we go. Please don't smoke until the after the plane has taken off. Okay, there we go. That's letter B. Next, 33. 33. It is the first time I blank of anything like that. It is the first time I have heard of anything like that. So it's the first time. So from the time she or he was born until now. Okay, it's the first time. Okay, there we go. That's present perfect tense. We use present perfect tense. Next one, you're always late. This is the third time you blank late this week. So have been. Okay, this is the third time you have been. That's letter C. 34 is letter C kasi starting Monday of this week until now. Okay, that's until now. So started in the past and the action still continues until now. So we always use the present perfect tense with that. So that's letter C. 34 is letter C. 35. It was the first time she had ever won a prize. It was the first time. No, it was the first time. So was it's already past. So it was the first time. So we will say had won. If it's present, like it is the first time she has won. Okay, kung present siya. But since this one is a past simple, so we always use the past also, past perfect tense. So we say it was the first time she had ever won a prize. Okay, so that's letter B. Next one, 36. He blank about to give up his job when they offered him a raise. He was about to give up. Okay, so that's when they offered him a raise. So that's past. Okay, so that's letter A. Next, 37. Yesterday, while I blank in class, I blanked the hiccups, and the boy next to me told me blank my breath. So we say yesterday, while I was sitting in class, I blanked the hiccups. Got the hiccups. The boy next to me told me to hold my breath. Okay, there we go. So that's letter C. Next one, 38. Hello, I blanked to phone you all week. Where blank? So hello, I have been trying to phone you all week. So I have been trying to phone. Where have you been? Okay, so that's letter D. Next, 39. 39. It's time we blank goodbye to each other. The train is due to leave in a minute. It's time we said goodbye to each other. The train is due to leave. It's time we said goodbye. Next one, 40. I think you should apologize when you blank her. 40. I think you should apologize when you see her. Yeah, letter B. Next one, 41. Okay, 41. His clothes are in a mess because he blanked the house all morning. Okay, so it's like his clothes are in the mess because he had been painting the house all morning. That's letter A. So there's why his clothes are in a mess, because there's something that happened before that, and that is he was painting his house. Like he had been painting his house, right? So that's had been present perfect continuous. There you go. Next, 42. Since I last met him, he blank. Since I last met him, he has got married. Okay, there you go. Like since. Yeah, since. The usage of since, we always use present perfect tense. So that's has got married. There you go. That's letter D. Next one, number 43. They quarreled last week. They quarreled last week. They blanked to each other since. They haven't talked since. Okay, since. So starting that time, they quarreled until now. Okay, so they haven't talked to each other. Next one, 44. I blanked much of the film because I fell asleep halfway through. So I didn't see much of the film because I fell asleep. Yeah, past. Next one. There is nothing we can do that blank people from driving too fast. So 45, there is nothing we can do that will stop people from driving too fast. That's letter C. Next one, I didn't answer the phone when it blanked because I blanked a shower, so I blanked it until it was too late. So I didn't answer the phone when, so this is past form. After when or while, we always use past, so we say rang. So that's between A and D only. Rang because I was having a shower, or was having a shower. So that's A and D only also. And then, so I blank, so I didn't hear it until it was too late. Yeah, so that's letter, not I wasn't heard, but I didn't heard. That's negative form. So that's letter A. Next one, 47. 47. Last night I blanked you, but the phone was out of order. So it says last night I phoned you. Last night, that's past, right? Simple past. So that's letter B. Next one. She wants us to meet at the cafeteria, but I'd rather we blank here. She wants us to meet at the cafeteria, but I'd rather we met here. So that's letter C. Next, 49. We met at the cafeteria as she wanted, so I'd rather we had met here. It's letter D. Next one. It is likely that by the time you blank to the shop, it blank shop. By the time you get to the shop, it will be shut. So that's letter D. Next one, 51. Blank you ever blank of him? He is a world famous violinist. Okay, so 51. Haven't you ever heard of him? Okay, haven't you ever heard of him? So from the time you were born until now, okay? There you go. Next one, 52. Did you turn off the photocopier? The manager blank already blanked it off. Okay, so the manager, 52, the manager had already turned it off. So that's letter A. Because it's past, did you turn off? Did you turn off the photocopier? Past, so this had been. Okay, had plus PP. Okay, had already turned it off. There you go. Next one, 53. I blank what the problem is by tomorrow. So 53, I will have discovered the problem. I will have discovered what the problem is by tomorrow. Okay, there we go. That's letter C. Next, 54. By the time I got to the stadium, they had already been playing for 10 minutes. Yeah, So at that time, you're right. So they had been playing. Next one, that's letter C. Next one, 55. Someone blanked my bag last night. So last night, past form. So it's past. Stole. Stole is between A and D. Okay, there we go. Next one. Blank. You ever blank. Ever is we only use ever with has or have plus past participle. So have you ever had your bike stolen? So that's letter D. Not did you ever have. No, that's not letter A. Okay, so because we only use ever with present perfect tenses. Okay, so it says have you ever heard, have you ever had, I'm sorry. Next one, the doctor, 56, the doctor blanked the patient with a smile and told him that he blanked better. The doctor approached the patient with a smile and told because it's past, so we say told, so approached. Okay, so it's letter A and B. But I told him that he was looking better. So that's past na, so was looking, not is looking. Okay, so the answer here is letter B. 57, I used to smoke at one time, but now I blank it up. So, but now, I used to smoke at one time, but now I have given up. I have given it up. Next one, that's letter A. Next, 58. He blanked silly questions until my patience finally ran out. He kept asking silly questions until my patience finally ran out. Number 59. 59. He blanked at tennis since he came to the USA. So he has been. He has been. Oh no, walang hasn't. Okay, so this hasn't between. He has been beaten at tennis since he came to the USA. So he hasn't been beaten. Next one, that's letter C. Next one, 60. It is probably about time we blank the car serviced. It is probably about time we had the car serviced. Letter A. Next one, blank. We blank somewhere before. So that is, haven't we met somewhere before? Yes, I saw you. Yeah, letter B. I saw you at your sister's wedding. There you go. Next one, letter B. Next one. The weather blank worse last year than I blank it to be. So we say the weather last year, so it's past, so it's was. So it's between A and B. And then I blank it to be. So that's I had expected it to be. Okay, that's letter A. Next one, 63. A. I blank hungry at 4 because I blank a big lunch at 1. So I blank hungry at 4 because I blank had lunch at 1. I wasn't hungry at 4 because I had a big lunch at 1. Next one. I woke up feeling tired this morning because I blanked very well. I hadn't slept very well. 64 because it's past, right? This I woke up feeling tired this morning, so it's already woke up is past. So we say hadn't slept. Next one, 65. Go out and get some fresh air. You blank here reading all morning. You have been sitting here reading all morning. Letter D. Next one. Why are you crying? Well, I blank up onions for the last 5 minutes. So we say, well, I have been cutting onions for the last 5 minutes. For and since. Okay, so we use perfect tenses with that. Next one. 67. Did you spend your holiday in Miami? No, I was blank it there, but I changed my mind and went to Antalya instead. So we say So we say I was to have spent it there. I was to have spent it there. Okay, but I changed my mind. There we go. Next. 68. I don't think your brother blank has got rid of his bad cold. Okay, so has got. Letter C. Next one. Transport systems blank likely to change in the future. One probable difference is that they're blank more electric vehicles. Transport system are. Transport systems are likely to change in the future. One part of the difference is that there will be more electric vehicles. B. Next one. 70. The men were blanked. A word to blank, but the manager decided to give them a second chance, not change. Chance, sorry. 70. The men were to have been dismissed. Okay. Were to have been dismissed. There we go. Next one. Mike. Oh, in 1990. So we say in 1990, Mike worked in a travel agency for 6 months in 1990. He already had some experience of the tourist industry because he blank had worked in a tourist information office in Bristol 2 years before. So that's letter D. Next one, 72. The film blank already blank when we sat down. The film, when we sat down, that's already past. So we say the film had already started. Okay, had already started. Next one, that's letter C. 73. It is due in 5 years time. So it is due to be completed in 5 years time. To be. Next one, 74. I blank her a week ago. So it's past. So we say I wrote her a week ago. So it's between A and B, but she blank yet. So it's she hasn't answered yet. That's until now. Okay, not didn't answer, but it's until now. So from the time you wrote her until now. Okay, so that's present perfect. So that hasn't answered. That's letter A. Next one. What happens to traffic in a traffic jam? It blank up. So it is held up. There you go. It is held up. 76. No one brought up that question at the meeting. So that question blank up at the meeting. So 76. No one brought up that question at the meeting. That question wasn't brought up. Okay, so it's passive. No one brought up is past that question at the meeting. So that question wasn't brought up. No one is negative. So that wasn't brought up. Okay, there you go. So that's letter D, passive form. 77. By the end of this century, most of the world's oil supplies will have been used up. Okay, this passive again, will have been used up. My brother blank in a restaurant for the summer, but he blanked it very much. My brother is working in a restaurant for the summer, but he doesn't like it very much. Next one, 79. Someone saw him. He was driving a Renault Manager. He blank a Renault Manager. He was seen driving. Okay, so this he was seen driving, blah blah blah. Next, that's letter B. Next one, 80. There has been a serious accident on the E5 and a section of the motorway blank to traffic. So has been closed. Okay, and the section of motorway has been closed. Okay, has been closed. Section is singular. Anyway, so had been closed. It's passive again. Next one, 81. People say that Istanbul is one of the world's most interesting cities. Istanbul, blank, one of the world's most interesting cities. Is said to be. Yeah, that's letter B. Istanbul is said to be. Anyway, that's letter B. Next one, 82. Long ago, people thought that the earth was flat. Long ago, the earth was thought to be flat. That's letter B again. Long ago was thought to be flat. Okay, there we go. Passive again. Next, 83. When I arrived, no arrangement had been made. When I arrived, no arrangements. Okay, that's letter A. No arrangement had been made. That's passive again. 84. The pilot blank thought to blank in the crash. The pilot was thought to have died in the crash. Was thought to have died in the crash. Next one. That's letter A. Next, 85. Who's going to meet him at the airport? He blank by our ambassador. That's passive again because of the by. So he is going to meet by our ambassador. Next one. This week we have had the house blank into by thieves. By thieves. So 86. Or have had the house broken into by thieves. Yeah, there we go. That's letter C. Next one, 87. 87. What do they use this building for? Well, years ago it used to be. Or wait, 87. What is building for? Well, years ago it was used. Years ago plus. Sorry, past. It was used as a dance hall, but now it is used for. It is now used, present. So that's letter C. It was used as a dance hall, but now it is used for offices. That's letter C. Next one, 88. 88. Okay. Were you able to cure the patient? He blank already blank by the time I got there. So yeah, he had already been cured by the time I got there. Okay, there we go. Next one, Mars is the first planet to be discovered. Next one, 90. They were happy. They were unhappy with the way things were going. The way things were going. That's letter B. Next one, 91. Don't touch that electric stove while it's being repaired. It is being repaired. Okay, there we go. Passive again. Next one. He was 8 kilos overweight and blank to go on a diet. So 9. He was 8 kilos overweight and was advised. Okay. He was, so past, so was advised. Next, there we go. People like policemen blank always blank against flu. People like policemen are always vaccinated against flu. Yeah, that's letter B. Next one, his movies. His movies have been translated into 8 languages. Have been translated into 8 languages. So someone translated. Someone have translated his novels. I'm sorry, not movies. No, novels into 8 languages. So that's passive form for that is have been translated. So that's letter D. Next one, 95. We usually blank the news on TV at 8 o'clock, but tonight we blank that new soap opera. So we usually watch the news. Usually that's present, right? So present, usually. We usually watch the news on TV at 8 o'clock, but tonight we are watching the new soap opera. Okay, tonight. Next one. He noticed that the room blank recently. Hasn't been cleaned. Yeah, there you go. That's letter A. Next one. I hate it when my boiled eggs blank properly. isn't done. Boiled egg. Boiled egg is singular, so isn't done. '98, a speech to the nation was blank by the Prime Minister. So it's passive again, by the Prime Minister. So 98, a speech to the nation was to have been made. Yeah, was to have been made. Next one, 99, he blank emptied the contents of his suitcases onto the counter. So he was made to empty the contents of his suitcases. That's letter B. Next one, 100. The authorities feared the missing man was dead. Next, 101. 101. Someone heard him shout for help. He blank shout for help. He was heard to shout for help. Okay, next. The authorities will make him pay all his debts. He blank pay all his debts. He will be made to pay all his debts. Next, she's spring cleaning the house from bottom to top. So the house, she is spring cleaning. So is present, so we say the house is being spring cleaned. Is being spring cleaned. That's letter A. Okay? Pag ing form, like is, are, am, is, are plus ing form, we just interchange the object and the subject. The object will become the subject, and then change that am, is, are plus ing form depending on what the subject is, if it's singular or plural, and then am, is, are. And then being, we just add being and then past participle of the main verb. Like here, spring cleaning is the main verb, is the helping verb here, right? So we say is spring cleaning. So we say the house, the object is the house, so we say the house is being spring cleaned. Is, house is singular, so we say is, and then being, we add being for am, is, are plus ing form. Okay, there you go. So that's letter A. The last days of the holiday blank by rain. Okay, the last days were spoiled. The last days of the holiday was spoiled by rain. Okay, there we go. Next, they have used up all the petrol in the tank. All the petrol in the tank was used up, or has been used up. Sorry, has been. Because have used up pala siya. Have used up, present perfect tenses, we like have used up, right? So this is the verb here. So we say all the petrol. Petrol is non-count noun, so we say has. And then we just add been for present perfect tenses. Okay, so or perfect tenses, we just add been for to make it passive forms. And then what's that? Past participle of the main verb. So have used up. So they have used up all the petrol. So the petrol have been used up. Okay, the petrol in the tank have been used up. Next one, that's letter B. Next, 106. 106. I expect the police will find him. I expect he will be found by the police. Okay, will find him. So that's will be. We just add be and then will be. Next one, 107. People don't bring up children properly these days. Children are children. Okay, so there you go. Verb here, our verb is don't bring up. We say aren't, and then we use what's that? The past participle to bring up, and that is brought up. So that's aren't. Children aren't brought up properly these days. Next one. They blanked the traffic problem when the plans for the project blank made last year. So we say 108. They blanked the traffic problems when the plans for the project blank made last year. So we say last year. So we say they didn't consider. And then as when the plans is plural, so say were being. So that's letter D. They didn't consider the traffic problem when the plans for the project were being made last year. Next 109. Because of the patient's health, blank. Okay, so because of the patient's health, he was advised by the doctor to lose weight. Okay, there you go. Next 110. They hadn't done any damage to it. No damage. Oh, hadn't done. So that's past perfect tense, right? So the passive form for that, we say no damage. That is already, no damage is negative na. That's already negative. So no damage had been done. That's letter B. Okay, letter B. Next one. They say he robbed the bank. Means, they say he robbed the bank means he is said to have robbed the bank. That's letter D. Next one. Did Arsenal beat Galatasaray in the final? Yes, Arsenal was beaten by Galatasaray in the final. No, Arsenal was beaten by Galatasaray in the final. So that's letter D. Next one. 113. 113 people think he is guilty. He blank guilty. He is thought to be guilty. That's letter C. Next, 114. Foreign investments blank reduced by 20% since the election. So that's have been. Foreign investments, plural, have been. Okay, there we go. 115. It blank that the government would do something to relieve the situation. It was assumed. That's letter D. Okay, there we go. Next, the man who blanked by a snake was given a serum. So was given is a past passive. So the man who passive past. So it's between C and D. Yeah, letter C kasi passive siya. So we say had been beaten, not had beaten. Okay. Passive has always had plus been plus past participle. Next one, 17. A ceasefire blank expected to blank this later this month. A ceasefire is expected to be declared. Okay, so to be declared later this month. That's letter B. Next, 118. A great deal of research blank into the possible causes of cancer. A great deal is singular, so it's letter C or D. Yeah, it has done. No, had been done. So that's letter C. A great deal of research had been done into the possible causes of cancer. Next one, 119. She promised that she blanked the hospital until she blanked better. She promised that she wouldn't live or would not live. Yeah, it's between A and B. And then has until she was better. Promise is past, so we say was better. That's letter A. Okay, there you go. 120. New sources of energy blank developed. New sources of energy. Sources is plural, so it's plural, letter C or D. Is increase in important oil reserves. Okay. Plural siya, so it's just between C and D. And yung una-una, so sources of energy are or have been, fine. But the second one is like oil reserves is also plural. So letter C ang sagot, are used up, not is used up. Okay? Letter D is used up. So it's wrong. Letter C is the answer here. Next, 121. The transistor blank in 1948 was invented in 1948. As a result of this, both the size and the cost of electronic equipment have been reduced. So as a result, so until now, okay, the electronic equipments are becoming smaller. That's letter A. Next, 122. Radio waves blank by the ionosphere. This makes it possible. Blank shortwave radio signals over great distances. Radio waves okay, so radio waves is plural, waves, so it's B, C, D, are reflected, okay, are reflected, so it's between C and D, because it's, what's that? Passive, by, so are reflected by the ionosphere. This makes it possible to send, okay, possible to send. We have list of verbs must be followed with ing, and we also have list of verbs that must be followed with 2 plus verb. Okay, so possible is one of them to be followed with 2 plus infinitive or base form. So that's letter D. Next one, 1, 2, 3. Plans to develop cars on methanol are likely blank in the future. Plans in the future, so to be realized in the future. Okay, there we go. Next, 1, 2, 4. There is no bread left because we blanked it all. We have eaten it all. Okay, there we go. That's letter A. Next one, 1, 2, 5. Little blank she realized. Little did she realize that the evening was to turn out very differently. So that's letter D. Next one, 1 to 6. It is highly probable that more and more solar energy blank in the future will be used in the future. Next, 1 to 7. There isn't any more chalk. It blank all blank. There isn't any more chalk. It has all been used up. That's letter C. Next one, 1 to 8. You can stop looking for his watch. He blank just blank it. He has just found it. Okay, there we go. That's letter B. Next, 1 to 9. Don't ask me what cauliflower tastes like. I blank eating. I haven't tried eating it. Yeah, there we go. Tried eating. Letter C. Next one, 130. I bought another concert ticket in case you blank to come with me. In case you wanted to come with me. That's letter A. We will close all the windows in case it rains while we are out. So it rains while we are out. 132. Take an umbrella with you in case it should rain. Or 133. She ought to pass her exams so long as she blank doesn't panic. That's letter A. She doesn't panic. Next, 134. His hopes of making a fortune blank when his factory burned down. His hope of making a fortune hopes were dashed. Okay, were dashed. When his factory burned down, that's past. So were dashed. His hopes. Okay. 135. When 11 o'clock came and he is still blank, I began to wonder if he blank an accident. So when 11 o'clock came and he still hadn't arrived, I began to wonder if he had an accident. Okay, there we go. Next. While being given an injection. Letter B. Next one, 137. For various reasons, clothing of some type, clothing singular, so it's a has been worn by human beings since the beginning of time. Has been worn, that's letter D, passive. Next one, considering the weather is so uncertain, the reception blank indoors. The reception will be held. Considering the weather is so uncertain, the reception will be held indoors. Okay, that's letter B. Next one, in most non-Western countries, punishment blank as a deterrent. Punishment is not seen as a deterrent. Letter A. Next one, if we compare the mass of hydrogen in a star with the rate at which the energy blank, we can estimate its potential life. If we compare the mass of hydrogen in the star with the rate at which the energy is being transmitted or emitted, is being emitted. Yeah, there we go. That's letter A. Next one, for 1, it has been predicted that within the next 50 years, scientists, within next 50 years, so will have produced next 50 years. Next, we blank at the Italian restaurant last night. So last night, that's past. 142. We were going to eat at the Italian restaurant. Yeah, letter B. Next one, the door blank unless you blank. 143. The door blank. The door won't open or will not open unless you push it or you push. Letter A. Next one, 144. His parents blank married for 8 years. His parents blank married for 8 years. Have been married for 8 years. Okay, his parents have been married since the first day or their wedding until now when he was born. Okay, have been married for 8 years until he was born. No, had been. I'm sorry. Letter C. 144 is letter C pala. Sorry. When he was born pala. At the time when he was born. So it's past na. It's finished. So had been. I'm sorry. 144 is letter C. By April 2010. He blank for this organization for 15 years. He had been working. That's letter D, had been working because past na April 2010. Next, he blanked from the company for several years before they found him out. Before he had, so he had been stealing from the company for several years before they found him out. Okay, there we go. Letter B. 147. He blanked a cold for the last 3 days. He has been fighting off a cold for the last 3 days. Okay, that's letter C. Next one, 148. The Prime Minister refuses to enter into negotiations with the railwaymen until they all blank to work. They have all returned to work. Okay, that's letter B. Next one, 149. In the years ahead, it seems likely that people in the years ahead, will acquire even greater control over nature. That's letter C. Next, 150. You blank pleased to hear that your father blank to the committee. You will be pleased to hear that your father has been selected to the committee. That's letter B. Next one, hardly blank. I blanked the phone down when it started ringing again. So hardly had I put the phone down. Yeah, that's letter D. 152, last number. The day she agreed to marry him was the happiest he blank ever. He had ever had in his life. That's letter B. Okay, so there you go. I hope this one helped you a lot, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe and like hit that thumbs up if you like this video, and also that tick that bell for notification of my future video. Bye bye. Stay safe, everyone. This is Teacher Happy.